All right, so I just want to do one thing before we get to the callers. Great response by you guys. It's a really good conversation. I just want to back up one thing. No one is arguing that it is the most efficient way to do it is, well, we're just going to draft, develop, and sign. That's great. Well, why don't we let history be thy guide, okay? And I just want to offer you what I think is a fair sample size. I don't think it's fair to do 20 years or 15 or even 10. The last 5 years of the NFL, here are the teams out of the NFC that have won the NFC and gotten to a Super Bowl, something you haven't done. And I'm just going to spotlight some of the things that had to happen. And I want you to tell me what you see here, a common theme. Okay? The 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, they went out and made a bold move to sign a guy you may have heard of, Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
The 2021 Los Angeles Rams made a bold move. Now, they traded for a quarterback. What was his name?
He's got a famous wife.
Matthew Stafford.
There you go.
The 2022 Philadelphia Eagles. They went, forget about some of the draft day stuff. Made a bit bold trade for A.J. Brown. The 23 San Francisco 49ers, who in the process of getting there, traded for a guy, what was his name? Christian McCaffrey. And then the Eagles this past year, which, I don't know, had one of the boldest off seasons you can have.
Traded within the division.
Yes. What was his name? I can't remember. Major risk to pay a running back. Saquon Barkley. So, guys, here's my point. While it is not exclusive, while the Lions may not be wrong, here's the data. Here's reality. The teams that are going where you can't get to, they're doing bold moves to go over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free. You can rip that.
Right, because here's what will happen. Well, yeah, but look, Philly and San Francisco didn't win in those years, and what do they have to show for it?
Getting somewhere where you can't get to.
Yeah.
How many playoff games you win this year?
Because Philly came back, they added, and the thing that I like what Philly did, Mike, they didn't let that deter them. They jumped right back in and said, let's do it again, and let's bring in a bigger name.
Yep. It's all gas, no brakes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to people, see what they have to say about it. It's a good conversation. Jeremy, 97.1. Jeremy, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, man. How you guys doing today?
Excellent. What's on your mind?
Man, I think it's not fear. I think it's almost a product of too good, too fast. 24 months ago, we hadn't won a playoff game since 1991, and we hadn't been to the playoffs in Lord knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they thought, either the fans or the organization thought we would go from that to a Super Bowl contender in a year and a half. And so it's almost like in real life, you have a plan in place. I'm going to buy a house at this age, and I'm going to do this and that. And then you meet the girl of your dreams, and it's just like, wow, my whole plan has gone to crap. You have to make a decision. I just feel like that's not – they had a 5-year plan. Yeah, and we got better than they thought we would.
Jeremy, let me. I want to offer you something, and you can tell me if I'm full of it or more full of it than you already believe.
I don't think you're full of it.
I know, Jeremy. I'm busting your chops. Here's my problem: the NFL, there are no 5-year plans anymore. And even if we go back 2 years ago, I guess I could have looked stupid, but I'm like, oh no, we're winning this division, and you're winning a playoff game. You won 2. Jeremy, you could see they were going to be really good, even going back to when they dump trucked Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau. Jeremy, I don't think saying we got too rich too quick is an excuse. I don't.
But for a team, just like you named the teams that got to where we're trying to get, 2 years ago, we were just trying to get to the playoffs. We beat Green Bay, but we didn't even make the playoffs that year. And, it's been plenty of years where it's like next year will be our year. But I feel like as far as the fan base, I don't think it's fear. I think it's, even when we made the Stafford trade, people thought Jared Goff was a throw-in. Like, we just had to take him to make the trade happen.
Yep.
So I just feel like so many things fell into place perfectly so fast that you got half of the fans saying, hey, let's take it easy. I can't believe it's this good. We won 2 playoff games in 1 year. That's more than we won in 50 years, and we won that in 1 year. And then you got the other half that's like me, saying let's go all in and try to win this thing right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm with you guys ultimately. I've been a fan of this team my whole life. I want us to go all in, but I've talked to people, other fans, and I see how they're like, hey, unfortunately, you got people that's saying they don't want to be San Francisco. Like, people forget San Francisco, Dallas has won a Super Bowl more recently than San Francisco.
I know.
So
Listen, here's the deal.
But one more.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Jeremy. That's hurtful.
Go. Yeah, I was going to say, way to hurt Rico on the way out. But go ahead, Jeremy. You said you had one more thing.
Man, I think I got to win a way that they could get out of this tush-push conundrum, because I feel like this anyway, and this is something I've been thinking about.
Okay.
If a guy runs the ball and you stop his momentum and push him backwards, the ball doesn't move from where he stopped at. All the NFL has to do is say, look, once a player's forward momentum is stopped, it can't be pushed forward by a teammate or anything. And I think that it goes away right with that.
Here's where it goes away, though. Jeremy, it goes away when you take the word push out of it. You shouldn't be allowed to push the quarterback. He has to do it on his own accord.
I don't even think just a quarterback, any player. I've seen plays this year where the running back was lifted up off the ground.
David Montgomery.
David Montgomery.
Yes, I'll tell you, it's another one.
You know what, Mike?
Ridiculous.
Maybe you should be on the rules committee, because I could live with that. I could actually live with that if you said, okay, because the play, to me, everybody has the opportunity to run that play. But if you simply said, and I know I'm getting off topic, I mean, I'll land the plane, you can't push the quarterback. If the quarterback can get the yardage on his own, great.
Right.
Okay?
And if fans say they don't want to be San Francisco, I just want to caution you on something. If I offer you a deal that you'll be in 2 of the next 5 Super Bowls with a lead in the fourth quarter, would you sign it, not knowing the outcome? There's not a human being in the NFL, not a front office manager, no one, not an owner, not an exec, not a coach, not a kicker, who wouldn't sign that piece of paper and go, yeah, I'll take my chances that we'll get one of them.
Right. Because Lions fans, I would simply say, if I told you you'd be in the NFC title game and you'd have a 17-point lead at halftime, would you sign up for that?
Niners should have been in a 3rd Super Bowl, too. That Jaquiski Tart thing was criminal. Yeah. Sorry. Go to Brian, 97.1. What's up, B?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Afternoon.
I wanted to brew on this idea of maybe Brad Holmes has seen what's happened to the Tigers and not become trapped by signing something too big or too large. Because maybe he looked at how Miguel Cabrera was a boat anchor on the team, was just a cinder block chained to their ankle and dragged them behind, or how Javier Baez is now just anchoring this team down, dragging them down without any forward momentum. And he's saying, you know what? We can't get any of these old players with luxurious credentials to become an anchor of a team with a contract that's unreasonable and undeserved.
No, Brian,
I'm thinking that Brad Holmes is too worried about signing too big a player, and they just suck.
Yeah, but that plays into what Rico's saying, because the other side of it is, look, let's say Hendrickson is that player. That's a guy with 75 sacks the last 4 years. That's a guy who was a first-team All-Pro last year. That's a guy who's an absolute lunch pail motor warrior. You put him opposite Aiden, you take your chances. But here's what it takes away. You don't get to be safe and just sign my own guys and just stay the course. And here's my fear. Brian, as wonderful a job as Brad Holmes has done, regression's coming. No GM has ever outrun it. John Lynch is one of the great GMs in this league. He's had great drafts and then drafts that belong in a toilet. It's reality. And like last year, Brian, Brad Holmes draft, bottom 5 in the league for year 1 productivity. And it was a year they desperately needed the rookies to help them, right? And they weren't there.
Because that was all your depth.
You could be the smartest guy in the room, like so many other, general managers and coaches that said, okay, we're going to do a great job this year. Yes, but there's an ebb and flow. You wax and wane with your roster and with your contracts and with your availability and your luck.
Yes.
Straight up luck,
Yep, luck plays a huge role. And people don't want to admit that because they think it's insulting to the GM. It's not. Luck plays a role. You can do everything right. You still got to get a little bit lucky.
But do you think he looks at something like Miguel Cabrera and says, okay, yeah, he was great, but in
Yeah, I
that
think the principle of
time
it.
frame of what the 9 years.
I think the
he was
principle
only
of
great
it, yeah.
for that first 3 years.
Yeah, I think the principality of go make bold trade, sign player near 30, doesn't work out, we're bad again. Yes, Brian, because I can't explain the approach. I love draft, develop, sign, the whole thing, but not with exclusivity. So the idea that the other day now, whether it's Tuesday or Monday, Holmes is saying, well, hey, we got a bill coming. I know fans want to splash, but we gotta be mindful about 2027. I'm going, what?
Yeah, I was with you.
The salary cap, listen, would anyone blink if over the next 2 years the salary cap went up a total of $35 million over 2 years?
Yeah, I was thinking about 40. So
Just
no.
say 35.
Okay.
Great. That's Trey Hendrickson. The salary's free.
And for those that don't remember, hey, once again, I hate to beat a dead horse. The Saints are still in business.
Man, why's it got to be a horse?
I'm sorry.
You just don't like the equine athlete. I'll tell you.
You know what? You're right. Huh?
248.
I was talking to a horse the other day, and he said, you know what?
539-9797. Be curious, will you please?
97.
All right, weather getting a little bit warmer. I know it's not tropical, but one of the warmest opening days ever. But with that happening, you got to make sure your roof and your windows are ready because winter and spring and the freeze thaw is destructive. Get Victor's Home Solutions out to your house to do a 21-point roof and window inspection. Make sure Mother Nature didn't do her level best to reach into your wallet and come and get you. They will go over every square inch of your roof and windows. They'll make sure there is nowhere for water to get in, and it allows you to catch a minor problem and hopefully fix it with an inexpensive repair. So if it's time for a new roof or windows, Victor's has you covered. Prompt follow-up, on-time appointments, clear communication, and perfect installation before more rains like last night happened. Call Victor's 734-773-1100 or online anytime at victors.com. Oh, man. Odyssey.com rewind. Jam show today. Tomorrow, opening day. Just please be safe. And we'll be on after Tiger baseball. Hopefully it's after a win and everybody gets to enjoy themselves. Quick note, one thing we didn't get to. Trey Donaldson to Miami. You know, again, this is what I talk about. I'm not mad at the young man, but you leave a winning situation. You leave a budding program, and you go to a Miami team that has no roster and won 7 games. You already transferred from Auburn, Trey.
Right.
Now, okay, if you want to tell me, well, they got his replacement in the portal. My guess is they knew he was leaving, and that's why they got Godot.
I think both are true. I think they actually got his replacement coming in as a true freshman, and he knew your minutes are going to get reduced. So,
God forbid to have a little adversity and play better. Let me bail and
you know
go
what,
to
Mike?
Miami.
I'll say this: at least he did it smart. He went into the portal knowing I have a place to go.
Yeah,
I have a new home.
Look,
he's not going to be a portal homeless guy.
No,
who's sitting out there just waiting and waiting. No,
that'll be Xavier Booker. All right, David, any ticket text while the guys, I'm sorry, I can't forgive 14 for 76 from 3 and
Mikey.
running around the court like a baby deer.
Mike, he'll have a new home.
Yeah, SIU Edwardsville. The guys are plugging in.
Yeah, the guys are plugging in, so I'll read one more. We talked about the Netflix series that is coming out.
Race for the Crown.
And someone texts in and says, I was staying in Florence, Kentucky once, and I heard Uncle Mikey's in my head says, just go check it out. He says, I love the place.
That's right.
Dumpy track, cigarette smoke everywhere. Amazing experience.
That's right. If you build it, they will come. Gentlemen, April 22nd, mark your calendars.
Whoa, what?
From the same people who brought you Drive to Survive, the Netflix series about the F1.
Oh, yeah.
Race for the Crown.
Like horses and stuff?
It's going
right.
to be quarterbacks,
Horse
horse style.
Racing series, all about the road to the Kentucky Derby.
Will Bob Baffert be in it?
Yes.
Wojo, they're going to follow 4 horses, and they're going to take you around. You're going to see the horse with their families.
That's not any.
Is Patrick Mahomes' brother going to be in this one too?
No, I didn't say horse's ass. I said horses.
What about Rick Pitino? Will we see some Rick Pitino?
Oh, Tricky Ricky?
He's a big horse guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He
from
used to own a
Louisville,
really
sure.
nice horse named Golden Sense. He owned a nice filly named Coach Rocks. You'll see him up at Saratoga, about 17 drinks deep.
Will
You'll
Mr.
see him
Ed
up-
make a cameo?
No, he's dead. What's coming up next,
kind of a
gentlemen?
shame. We're going to piggyback on the Tigers stuff that you guys talked about. I was on for 2 segments right after the game yesterday, and I immediately said and thought, every fear that Tiger fans have came true yesterday. Everything we talked about.
And all I said is, hey, am I overreacting? There was no yelling. I said, but at the end of, let's say, the first 60, 70 games, if you give away 4 or 5 games like yesterday, and I know Parker Meadows isn't there.
Complete giveaway.
My point is, at the end of the year, it's going to cost you a playoff.
Of course.
But the problem is, this is who they are.
No, here's my thought, and
They
I
didn't
will
do much to
combine
try to get better.
the Tigers and Lions. They each get modicum of success. And do they get stubborn with their way? Mm-hmm. The Lions, and then the Tiger. Oh, no, we can move anybody, anywhere we want.
Yes.
You can play there.
We did the Lions topic, and Rico says it is fear of ever going back to being poor. Kenny just says it's straight up ego. But the bottom line is they're not doing everything they can to win. Brad is worried about extensions and bills due in 27, and we're sitting here like, who cares?
You've been around long enough to see this team they were the butt of jokes.
Right. But when a team gets success for the first time out, Tigers and Lions, I think they get fixated on it. Like that play by Colt Keith, I swear to God, he thought for a second he was at first base. He was playing first base.
I think you're right about that.
That's why he threw it a second.
Well, what about Kreidler? The guy can't hit. He's only here for his defense. And I'm like,
you were not here last week. I was on with Rico. The lineup came out, and I bitched and moaned about Ryan Kreidler in center. And Rico just stared at me. He's like, bro, you knew this was going to happen. And
I know. He's got a very aloof approach to things.
Yes, but
I'm just saying. It's like
in Game 6.
Okay.
That's such a catchable baseball.
All right.
Hit his glove.
Save it for the show. We'll be on with you guys after Tiger Ball tomorrow.
Newborn cries. It happens.
Yeah.
That's what you expect.
Yeah.
Blows out diaper.
97.1.